Hey YouTube, Dan Otto here, and we're coming at you with Ultra League Holiday Cup ranking. So Holiday Cup, we just had it in the Great League. So same typings, normal, grass, electric, ice, flying, and ghost. This time limited, not limited, but up to 2500 CP, so the Ultra League. And if you played in the Great League, you're going to see a lot of overlap here, which actually makes this much easier if you've already played it once, because the meta isn't going to change too much. You're going to have some new meta because of Ultra League, but a lot of the things are going to stay the same. So let's just go over what stays the same first, and then we're going to go over what has changed. So Aurora's number one, again, rock, ice, just such insane coverage, flyers, dragons, other ice type Pokemon with Meteor Beam, just such a huge, it's gonna be everywhere. So just watch out for Auroras. What also has not changed is the counter users that are not counter users, not fighting, Obstagoon and Double. So both, some double kick and counter, both fighting type fast moves, like so much when ice is everywhere. Great to have that. And there again, look at Auroras, Regice, Piloswine 6 and 7. I mean, the Obstagoon and Double on themselves are weak to fighting as well. Abomasnow, Sandslash, Magneton, just everything except for Charizard, it looks like on this list. Except for Charizard, everything else is weak to fighting. So, Obstagoon, Double will be everywhere. I'm filming this in advance, but I already know that Double, Obstagoon and or Vigoroth will be on pretty much everyone's team. And it will be on everyone's team here, so just prepare for that. Then we're going to get into all the ice type Pokemon. I just mentioned Regice, Piloswine, Abomasnow, Sandslash, so many ice. For the most part, you just hit strong on everything. There's a couple things here like Magneton and Magnezone. We'll go over that in 1 second. But anything that's a flyer, you're going to do well. You're spammy, even in neutral matchups. Just some of these moves like Avalanche and then Thunder and Blizzard on Regice just going to hit so hard. Giratina is number 2, which is so interesting because so 2 things to consider here. One is running Ancient Power, because if ice is going to be everywhere, you need an Ancient Power plus Aurora says rock plus flyers. Ancient Power is the way to go with Dragon Claw. You're really going to have no play with Shadow Claw here, or yeah, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak. Anyway, so Ancient Power is the way to go. Still ranked number 2 despite there being like 15 ice types on this front page here. And it's just because it is so, I got on one of my teams and we'll go over the matchups there, but it's just so tanky and so spammy that even if you lose, which you do lose a lot of these ice, you still just kind of hang in there and get a bunch of damage off. Outside of all these ice types, Magneton and Magnezone, steals, right? Steel type Pokemon that will resist all the ice type moves, which is huge when there is so much ice. Obviously you're gonna have trouble. You won't have trouble with Obstagoon in Double because I mean you take super effective, but you can at least throw the charge moves here. It's not like they're resisting it. Piloswine is gonna resist. I mean you can, and that's kind of where the secondary steel typing, the Magnet Bomb and the Mirror Shot. Mirror Shot's such a bad move, but those two are steel typings, which is great against ice. Right, so you should be able to hit most of these things for super effective as well. So that's why Magneton and Magnezone are so high. Resistance plus still hitting super hard. Charizard, again, wing attack buff that you can get to Blast Burn fast, and you're going to Blast Burn the crap out of everything here. Plus it has Shadow Claw or Dragon Claw for Giratina, right? So pretty much wide coverage there. Miltank, again, it's lower than Double and Obstagoon because it's not a counter user, but it's a tanky Pokemon that it's running Body Slam and Ice Beam. It's just, well, Body Slam is just going to spam a lot of these things. Nothing really, except for Giratina, resists Body Slam here. And I guess Golem too. And then Ice Beam will just hit pretty strong across the board. And Golem, again, a rock type Pokemon. So good. This is where my typing lacking is coming into play here. I think you're just sort of neutral to ice, or do you resist ice? One of the two. But again, Rock Blast and Stone Edge is just too hard, fast rock type moves, which is just gonna like blast everything in this meta. So the meta hasn't changed. So what does that mean for teams? So the first team I was just looking through, I'm like, I always start with give me the top ranked Pokemon, Auroras, right? So Auroras, as you can see, a bunch of wins all the way down. Virizion. So it's interesting because Virizion was not on this top list. And I put it on this team because it is everywhere. I think it's going to be everywhere. I think I'm going to have to build one up, quite honestly. I don't have an Aurorus to build up. And Aurorus, like, look, you beat your anything that's flying, anything that's other ice Pokemon you're doing pretty well against. You're bad against the rock, obviously, because you're bad against the steel. Like I mentioned, that double is the counter user, Obstagoon is the counter user. Like those are your main weaknesses, which is where Giratina comes into play, because Giratina will sort of resist all those counter users and electric users. So the electric don't have anywhere to go, and that's why you're probably going to see this combo a lot. Obstagoon may be a bit of a problem, but like you're during Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, so you can just kind of deal with it that way. But that is also where Virizion comes into play. A double kick user that knows fighting and grass, and it's just that. Look at that, all those big X's because of the fighting fast move, right? Regice, Obstagoon, Magnezone, Mamoswine, Golem, or Golem. How do you say it? I think Golem's from Lord of the Rings. Just again, a counter user that is a very spammy counter user. No, it's double kick, I guess, technically, but a spammy fighter, which is going to be great against all these ice type Pokemon. Gonna have a problem with Giratina because you can't throw anything. Everything's resisted. Grass and fighting is resisted, but the other two will deal with that. So I really expect this team to be everywhere. I do not have an Aurorus. I do have a Giratina, and I can probably build up a Virizion. So I probably will build one up for this league because I truly believe that is going to be a beast in this cup here. And it has some okay play in Open too, so it's not like it's a build for nothing. Obstagoon, same thing. I put Obstagoon in because you're just going to do pretty well as a counter user against most things here. Even in like losses against Talonflame, Galvantula, the Night Slashes add up, right? You're going to lose, but you're not going to lose too bad. Virizion as the counter user, the double kick Sacred Sword user is going to light you up. And then flyers are going to cause a little bit of trouble, and then other counter users are going to cause you some trouble just because you're double weak to fighting. So I paired it with Articuno for starters because Articuno will deal with a lot of the counter users to a certain extent. You lower their attack and flyers, right? As an ice, you're going to lower. So you cover, and the grass in Virizion. So you cover the weaknesses all the way down. There's a couple electric down there that is a bit tricky to deal with, and so I was just going through, and Pyroar came up. Pyroar is interesting as a fire type Pokemon, because fire will have play in this meta, but again, there is a lot of rocks still here. You still just get outpaced by a lot of these other Pokemon that can just hit you for neutral, right? So it's not this tankiest Pokemon, but it may have some play, or you can just play around with finding a third Pokemon. And a third team I just put together is I started with double because I think it's going to be one of the best save swaps in Great League, and it's going to be one of the best save swaps in Ultra League, right? Look at all those X's, not a lot of hard losses, and Virizion again. When you have so many Pokemon like Aurorus, Obstagoon, double that is weak to Virizion, I expect Virizion to be everywhere, right? And that's why. But other than that, like double as a safe swap is looking pretty good, right? Lots of X's there. Not a lot of hard losses. The only hard losses is to the double kick Sacred Sword that's going to come at you real fast. So I paired it with something that can deal, and Giratina. You can land the payback on Giratina, but again, Giratina is tanky, so it can probably take a couple paybacks. Plus, you need to maybe bait at least once. It gets ugly around there. So I threw in Pidgeot just because Pidgeot you're going to be super weak against the electric, and ice to a certain extent, ice rock. But other than that, you kind of hang in. You lower their attack super quickly. You should be okay. And I was going through, and I was like looking for a third one. Mamoswine's interesting because Mamoswine is half ground. So that ground secondary typing is going to be great for the electric, right? To neutralize that. And it's just like pretty spammy in general. So it's got some of the losses. It's like, again, I'm filming this in advance, so I haven't played the Great League Holiday Cup yet. I truly believe it'll be a double. Like I said in my Great League team video. Anything that is, because of the typings here, normal, electric, normal and ice. Let's just start with those two. Because normal and ice, which are weak to fighting, anything that can do fighting type moves is going to have a good time, because there's really only ghost in this, and the ghosts are going to have not a hard time. But all these fighters too are normal typing, or normal dark, which is even worse for the ghost, right? Because the normal typing double resists ghosts. So even if you come in with a ghost to resist the fighting, you're going to have a much worse time because you're throwing double resisted ghost moves at it. Right? So that's why I think that double and Vigoroth and Obstagoon are going to be everywhere in the Great League, and that's why I think double Virizion and Obstagoon are going to be everywhere in the Ultra League for this. So if I'm building a team or I'm building against a team, I'm building with those in mind as a starter. But we'll see how it goes. It's also Master League, so I got a Master League team coming tomorrow because I'm filming in advance, and then Monday I'll start with a bunch of these teams. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I'll do a bunch of these teams for this cup. So that is it. Appreciate watching, appreciate the thumbs up. Let me know what you're using in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.